Dear friends, once we pass the age of 60, something very important begins to change inside our bodies. The way we process carbohydrates, the breads, cereals, snacks, and side dishes we have eaten our entire lives, no longer works the same way. Foods that once gave us quick energy now linger in the bloodstream as excess sugar, straining the pancreas, feeding inflammation, and quietly damaging the heart, the brain, and even our muscles. This is why so many seniors feel fatigue, brain fog, or weakness and believe it is simply aging, when in fact it is often the food on their plates. But here is the encouraging truth. Not all carbohydrates are harmful. In fact, some are profoundly healing. When chosen wisely, the right carbohydrates can stabilize blood sugar, preserve lean muscle, sharpen memory, and protect the gut. Studies show that just a few simple changes in the types of carbs we eat can lower the risk of diabetes, reduce inflammation, and even improve independence as we grow older. In today's program, I will reveal the 4 worst carbohydrates that seniors should avoid, foods that research has directly linked to faster aging, higher disease risk, and loss of vitality. But I will also show you the 4 best carbohydrates, foods that science confirms can strengthen your body, energize your mind, and support your health well into the later years of life. So stay with me to the very end. The difference between the wrong and the right carbohydrates is often the difference between decline and resilience. And remember, the choices you make today are shaping your health tomorrow. Worst carb number 4. White sandwich bread. My friends, let us begin our list with a food that almost every senior has enjoyed for decades: the familiar white sandwich bread. For many, it has been the taste of comfort. Soft, fluffy slices used for breakfast toast, quick sandwiches, or even dipped into a warm bowl of soup. It feels harmless, even nourishing. Yet modern white bread is not the same as the bread of earlier generations, and this difference matters greatly, especially after the age of 60. The problem lies in how white bread is made today. The flour used for most commercial loaves is not only refined, but also bleached and processed until nearly all natural fiber, vitamins, and minerals have been stripped away. What remains is a powder that digests faster than table sugar. When you eat a slice of white bread, your body quickly converts it into glucose, flooding your bloodstream. For someone over 60, this becomes especially dangerous. Insulin sensitivity naturally declines with age, meaning that the body is slower to clear this sugar surge. The pancreas, already working harder than before, struggles to keep up. As a result, blood sugar remains high for hours, silently damaging blood vessels, stressing the heart, and feeding inflammation that accelerates aging. Science has measured this risk with precision. A 2021 study published in the journal Diabetes Care followed older adults who consumed white bread daily. Researchers found they had a 29% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who chose whole grains. Even more alarming, the same group faced a 16% higher chance of heart disease. Think about what this means. Something as ordinary as a daily sandwich could be undermining your heart, brain, and energy without you realizing it. The trouble does not stop with blood sugar. White bread is almost entirely devoid of fiber, which is essential for a healthy gut microbiome. Without fiber, beneficial bacteria in the intestines weaken, immunity drops, and inflammation rises throughout the body. Many commercial loaves also contain hydrogenated oils, artificial conditioners, and added sugars that further harm arteries and speed up muscle loss. Instead of protecting health, this staple food becomes a hidden saboteur. Consider the story of Clara, a 72-year-old grandmother who loved her morning toast. Over the years, she noticed constant fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and a foggy memory. She assumed it was simply aging, but when she replaced her white sandwich bread with sprouted whole grain bread, something remarkable happened. Within weeks, her energy improved, her digestion became easier, and her mind felt clearer. Clara's story is not unique. It is what happens when the body is finally given real nutrition instead of empty calories. What, then, should you do? The key is to choose bread that still contains the whole grain intact. Look for labels that read 100% sprouted grain or stone-ground whole grain, and check that each slice provides at least 3 grams of fiber. Avoid loaves that list enriched flour as the first ingredient. And remember, bread does not need to be your only carbohydrate source. Small portions of lentils, beans, or baked sweet potatoes provide steady energy and far greater nutrition. So while the soft white slice may feel familiar, it is time to recognize it for what it has become: a modern trap for seniors. By replacing it with truly nourishing alternatives, you protect your blood sugar, strengthen your gut, and give your body the steady foundation it needs to thrive after 60. Worst carb, number 3. Rice cakes. The next food on our list may surprise you because it is so often marketed as a guilt-free snack, especially to older adults who are told to watch their weight. I am speaking about rice cakes, the crisp, airy circles that many believe are light, healthy, and even good for digestion. Seniors often reach for them in the afternoon, thinking they are making a smart choice. But when we look more closely, rice cakes are one of the most deceptive foods for anyone over 60. To understand why, let us consider how rice cakes are made. They begin with white rice that has already been stripped of its outer bran and germ, which means almost all the natural fiber, protein, and minerals are gone. This polished rice is then puffed under high pressure until it becomes light and crunchy. The end product is not a whole grain, but a refined carbohydrate that the body digests with lightning speed. In fact, rice cakes have a glycemic index of over 80, higher than many kinds of candy. For a person over 60, this is a serious problem. As we age, our insulin sensitivity declines, and the pancreas becomes less efficient. Eating a food like rice cakes causes a dramatic surge in blood sugar, followed by a steep crash. These repeated spikes and crashes do not just make you feel tired or hungry. They also accelerate the loss of muscle mass, increase inflammation in the blood vessels, and contribute to long-term complications such as heart disease and cognitive decline. Scientific research has confirmed these dangers. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology showed that older adults who consumed high glycemic foods, like puffed rice, experienced blood sugar spikes that were up to 200% higher than those who ate slower digesting foods. These extreme swings place enormous stress on the body, leading to fatigue, irritability, and a cycle of craving even more refined carbohydrates. Nutritionally, rice cakes offer almost nothing to protect you. They contain little to no fiber, almost no protein, and no healthy fats. This means they do not satisfy hunger for long. In fact, eating rice cakes can make you feel hungrier, leading to overeating later in the day. Many flavored varieties are even worse. They often contain maltodextrin, artificial flavorings, excess sodium or sugar coatings that inflame the gut, raise blood pressure, and disturb digestion. Take the case of David, a 68-year-old retiree who thought he was making a healthy switch by snacking on rice cakes instead of cookies. Over time, however, he noticed his waistline expanding and his energy crashing in the afternoons. He felt groggy, irritable, and often reached for more snacks to get through the day. When David finally replaced rice cakes with a handful of raw almonds and walnuts, his afternoon crashes disappeared, and within a few months, his belly fat began to shrink. So, what should you do instead of reaching for rice cakes? Choose snacks that provide balanced nutrition. Raw nuts, such as almonds, walnuts, or pumpkin seeds, or even a slice of sprouted grain toast topped with avocado. These options deliver healthy fats, protein, and fiber that slow digestion, stabilize blood sugar, and keep energy steady for hours. The truth is that rice cakes are not the harmless treat they pretend to be. For seniors, they are a trap, one that spikes blood sugar, fans the flames of inflammation, and leaves the body weaker over time. By leaving rice cakes behind and choosing whole, nutrient-dense foods, you protect your muscles, your heart, and your independence. Worst carb number 2. Packaged breakfast cereals. The second carbohydrate on our list is one that has been sitting on breakfast tables for generations. Brightly packaged, crunchy, and often advertised as fortified with vitamins. I am speaking about packaged breakfast cereals. They may appear harmless, and the marketing often claims they are heart-healthy or energy-boosting. But when we look behind the bright colors and cheerful slogans, we discover that most cereals are, in fact, one of the worst foods an older adult can begin the day with. Here is why. Most breakfast cereals are made from grains that have been refined, pulverized, or puffed at high heat and pressure. During this process, the natural fiber, proteins, and many micronutrients are stripped away. What remains is a product that the body digests as quickly as pure sugar. When a senior eats a bowl of cereal, blood sugar rises sharply within minutes, then crashes down just as fast. For someone over 60, whose pancreas and insulin sensitivity are already compromised, this roller coaster becomes especially harmful. Instead of steady energy, it leads to fatigue, hunger, and metabolic stress that can last the entire day. The science is clear. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Gerontology followed older adults who consumed processed cereal at least 5 times per week. The researchers discovered that these individuals had a 22% higher risk of developing metabolic syndrome, a dangerous cluster of belly fat, high blood pressure, and unstable blood sugar. This combination not only increases the risk of type 2 diabetes, but also accelerates heart disease, stroke, and even cognitive decline. Adding to the problem, many cereals contain hidden sugars that disguise themselves under different names. Corn syrup, fruit juice concentrate, malt extract, or evaporated cane syrup. Some brands provide more than 20 grams of sugar per serving. That is more sugar than a glazed donut. And yet, people pour these cereals into a bowl each morning, believing they are doing something good for their health. To make matters worse, most seniors pair these cereals with low-fat milk. While that may sound like a lighter option, in reality, it means the body receives even more sugar without the healthy fat needed to slow digestion. The result is a sugar tsunami that floods the bloodstream. There are also hidden dangers many people do not consider. Packaged cereals often contain phosphates, emulsifiers, and artificial flavorings that weaken the gut lining, deplete minerals like calcium and magnesium, and increase inflammation in the joints. Over time, this can lead to muscle cramps, bone weakness, and chronic pain, issues that many seniors mistakenly attribute only to aging. Consider the case of Nancy, a 72-year-old woman who began her mornings with a bowl of colorful cereal for years. She noticed her belly fat increasing, her joints becoming stiff, and her afternoons filled with sluggishness. When she finally switched to steel-cut oats topped with blueberries and flaxseed, her transformation was remarkable. Within 8 weeks, her energy lifted, her digestion improved, and her joints felt less inflamed. So, what is the lesson here? Avoid the brightly packaged promises of breakfast cereals. Instead, begin your day with foods that provide real nourishment. Unsweetened Greek yogurt mixed with chia seeds, boiled eggs with a slice of sprouted whole-grain toast, or a warm bowl of oats cooked with berries and cinnamon are far superior choices. These meals provide protein, fiber, and antioxidants that protect the heart, stabilize blood sugar, and fuel the brain for the day ahead. The truth is simple. Cereals may look like an innocent convenience, but for seniors, they are one of the most harmful ways to start the morning. By leaving them behind and embracing whole, unprocessed foods, you set the tone for a day of steady energy, stronger muscles, and sharper memory. Worst carb, number 1, French fries. The number 1 carbohydrate on our list may also be the most beloved. It is the food that brings back memories of family outings, late-night snacks, and the irresistible aroma of something hot and salty. I am speaking about French fries. They are everywhere, at fast food restaurants, in cafeterias, even served alongside meals in hospitals. Yet for seniors, French fries may be the single most destructive carbohydrate of all. Let us begin with the potato itself. Potatoes are naturally high in starch and have a high glycemic index, which means they raise blood sugar rapidly. When you take that potato, slice it thin, and drop it into a vat of oil, the glycemic impact becomes even worse. For an older adult whose insulin sensitivity has already declined, this surge of glucose places tremendous stress on the pancreas, blood vessels, and brain. The result is not just a temporary spike in energy, but long-term harm to the systems that keep us alive and independent. Scientific evidence makes this risk clear. A 2023 study published in Nutrition and Aging tracked seniors who ate fried potatoes 2 or more times each week. Researchers found that these individuals had a 36% higher risk of suffering a stroke. They also had double the risk of insulin resistance, which is the first step toward type 2 diabetes, and greater stiffness in their arteries, which leads to high blood pressure and heart failure. Imagine that. Just 2 servings of French fries each week could sharply increase the odds of losing mobility, memory, and years of healthy life. The danger, however, does not come from the potato alone. It comes from the oils used for frying. Most commercial kitchens use soybean, canola, or corn oil. These oils are very high in omega-6 fatty acids, which become unstable under high heat. When exposed to deep frying temperatures, they oxidize and form toxic compounds that travel through the bloodstream, inflaming every tissue they touch. This inflammation accelerates aging, damages the heart, and worsens arthritis and joint pain. Fast food restaurants make matters worse by reusing the same oil repeatedly. Each cycle of reheating produces acrylamides, chemical compounds that research has linked to nerve damage, cancer, and faster cellular aging. Add to this the heavy dose of sodium sprinkled over every order, and you have the perfect recipe for stiff arteries, swelling in the ankles and feet, kidney strain, and painful joints. French fries are not just food. For many, they carry deep emotional comfort. That is what makes them so dangerous. They are hard to resist. But the truth is that for seniors, a plate of fries does not just bring pleasure. It quietly robs health. Combined with fried chicken, burgers, or processed meats, the impact is multiplied, leaving the body overwhelmed. What can be done instead? Fortunately, there are delicious and satisfying alternatives. Baking sweet potato wedges with a drizzle of olive oil and herbs creates a dish that is both comforting and health protective. Roasted potatoes with the skin left on, seasoned with rosemary and garlic, provide fiber and antioxidants without the toxic burden of fried oil. Pairing these alternatives with lean protein and leafy greens transforms the meal from harmful to healing. So the next time you are tempted by the golden glow of French fries, remember the truth. After 60, every serving carries hidden costs: inflammation, memory decline, weaker muscles, and a shorter lifespan. But by choosing healthier alternatives, you still enjoy comfort food, without sacrificing the independence and vitality that matter most. Best carb number 4. Green peas. Let us turn from the harmful to the healing. The first of our 4 best carbohydrates after the age of 60 may surprise you because it looks so simple, so ordinary, and so humble that many people overlook it. I am speaking about green peas. Yes, Those small, round pearls that you may have pushed aside on your plate as a child are, in fact, one of nature's most powerful foods for seniors. Why are peas so extraordinary? The answer lies in their unique combination of fiber, resistant starch, plant protein, and special amino acids. Unlike refined grains that flood the bloodstream with sugar, peas digest slowly. Their resistant starch passes through the small intestine and into the colon, where it becomes fuel for beneficial gut bacteria. This process produces short-chain fatty acids that calm inflammation, improve immunity, and even protect against colon cancer. For older adults, whose digestive health often weakens with age, peas act like a gentle healer, feeding the gut while reducing discomfort such as bloating or constipation. Green peas are also rich in soluble fiber, which forms a gel-like substance in the gut. This slows the release of glucose, preventing those sharp blood sugar spikes that wear down the pancreas and brain. Soluble fiber also binds to cholesterol, helping remove it from the body and protecting arteries from dangerous plaque buildup. For a senior who may already be managing high blood pressure or cholesterol, adding peas regularly can mean the difference between declining heart health and renewed protection. But perhaps the most exciting quality of peas for those over 60 is their role in preserving muscle. Peas contain the amino acid leucine, which is essential for stimulating muscle protein synthesis, the process by which the body repairs and rebuilds muscle tissue. After 60, muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, becomes one of the most pressing health threats. Weak muscles lead to falls, fractures, and loss of independence. By eating peas, seniors provide their bodies with exactly the building blocks required to maintain strength and mobility. Scientific evidence supports this. A 2022 study published in Nutrients followed older adults who regularly consumed legumes, including peas, 3 times per week. Over 2 years, those who included peas in their diet preserved 14% more muscle mass compared to those who did not. This is not a small difference. It is the difference between walking confidently across a room or struggling with every step. Peas are also a natural source of antioxidants such as vitamin C, vitamin K, and carotenoids that protect the eyes, skin, and joints. They deliver magnesium and potassium that help regulate blood pressure and support a steady heartbeat. In short, they are tiny packages bursting with age-defying power. How should you prepare them? The secret is to keep cooking gentle. Steaming peas lightly preserves their nutrients. Toss them with a drizzle of olive oil and a sprinkle of garlic for flavor. Add them into soups, rice dishes, or salads. You can even blend them into a smooth puree as a side dish that feels indulgent while providing deep nutrition. So, the next time you see those small green pearls on your plate, do not underestimate them. Green peas are not children's food. They are a senior's secret weapon. By embracing them, you give your body the fiber to heal the gut, the amino acids to preserve muscle, and the antioxidants to protect your heart and brain. Truly, in their simplicity lies their strength. Best carb number 3. Steel-cut oats. When most people think of oats, they imagine the quick packets of instant oatmeal or the soft flakes that cook in just a minute or two. But there is a very different form of oat, one that is less processed, richer in nutrition, and profoundly better for the body after the age of 60. These are steel-cut oats, and they deserve a place of honor on every senior's breakfast table. Unlike instant oats or rolled oats, steel-cut oats are made simply by taking the whole oat groat and cutting it into coarse pieces with steel blades. This means the grain remains closer to its natural state, with its fiber, protein, and nutrients largely intact. Because of this, steel-cut oats digest much more slowly than the refined or instant varieties. For someone over 60, this slower digestion is a gift. It keeps blood sugar steady, prevents insulin spikes, and provides a stream of energy that lasts for hours instead of minutes. One of the most powerful components in oats is beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber. When eaten, beta-glucan forms a gel in the gut that traps cholesterol, lowering the amount that enters the bloodstream. For seniors who may already face rising cholesterol levels and stiffening arteries, this can be life-changing. A meta-analysis published in 2023 confirmed that daily consumption of oats lowered LDL cholesterol by as much as 15% and also reduced markers of inflammation. That is the kind of measurable improvement that protects the heart, brain, and circulation. But the benefits do not stop there. Steel-cut oats feed the gut microbiome, encouraging the growth of beneficial bacteria that support immunity and reduce inflammation. This is especially important after 60, when the gut lining often becomes more fragile, leading to issues like poor nutrient absorption, constipation, and weakened resistance to illness. By regularly including oats, you strengthen the very foundation of your health. Another reason oats are so powerful for seniors is that they help regulate appetite and weight. Because they digest slowly, they keep you full for hours, reducing the desire to snack on sugary or processed foods. For someone trying to manage weight, protect blood sugar, or avoid overeating, this makes oats a true ally. Let us also remember the minerals tucked inside this humble grain. Steel-cut oats provide magnesium, which relaxes blood vessels and supports muscle function, iron, which keeps energy steady, and zinc, which boosts immunity and helps wounds heal. Combined with the steady release of glucose, oats nourish both body and mind. How should you prepare them? Unlike instant oats, steel-cut oats require patience. Simmer them gently in water or unsweetened almond milk for 15 to 20 minutes. Add cinnamon, blueberries, flaxseed, or chopped walnuts to enrich flavor and boost nutrition. Each of these toppings provides its own set of antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, and protective compounds, turning a simple bowl into a medicinal meal. Consider how you want to begin your day, with a sugary cereal that spikes and crashes your blood sugar, or with a bowl of steel-cut oats that steadies your energy, protects your heart, and feeds your brain? The answer is clear. After 60, oats are not just breakfast. They are a prescription for strength, stability, and sharper memory. Best carb number 2, sweet potatoes. The next carbohydrate on our list is one of the most colorful and nourishing foods you can put on your plate after the age of 60. I am speaking about sweet potatoes, the vibrant orange roots that have been a staple in many traditional diets across the world. They are more than just a tasty side dish. For seniors, sweet potatoes are a treasure chest of nutrients that protect memory, strengthen immunity, and stabilize energy in ways few other carbohydrates can. What makes sweet potatoes so powerful? First, they are rich in complex carbohydrates that release glucose slowly into the bloodstream. Unlike French fries or white bread that overwhelm the body with sudden sugar surges, sweet potatoes provide a steady stream of energy. This is especially important for older adults whose insulin sensitivity has declined. By slowing down digestion, sweet potatoes protect the pancreas, reduce stress on the heart, and keep the brain supplied with the fuel it needs to think clearly. Second, sweet potatoes are among the richest sources of beta-carotene, a plant pigment that the body converts into vitamin A. This nutrient is essential for protecting vision, maintaining healthy skin, and strengthening the immune system. A 2022 study published in Frontiers in Aging found that older adults who regularly consumed orange-fleshed vegetables such as sweet potatoes experienced improved memory performance, stronger immunity, and a reduced risk of macular degeneration, which is a leading cause of blindness after 60. In other words, this humble root can help preserve the very senses and functions that keep us independent. Sweet potatoes also contain resistant starch, a special form of carbohydrate that acts like fiber. When cooked, cooled, and then reheated, sweet potatoes develop even more resistant starch. This feeds beneficial gut bacteria, improves digestion, and reduces inflammation in the colon. For seniors who may struggle with constipation or irregular bowel habits, this is a gentle and natural remedy that restores comfort. Another remarkable benefit lies in their mineral content. Sweet potatoes are rich in magnesium, the mineral that relaxes muscles, calms the nervous system, and improves sleep. They also provide potassium, which balances sodium levels, lowers blood pressure, and supports a steady heartbeat. For older adults worried about hypertension, heart disease, or restless nights, sweet potatoes are an ally. Let us also not forget their role in muscle health. By providing steady glucose, essential vitamins, and minerals, sweet potatoes help preserve lean muscle mass. This is vital in the fight against sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle that threatens mobility and independence. How should you prepare them? The healthiest method is to roast them whole with the skin on, as the skin contains additional fiber and antioxidants. Avoid adding marshmallows, brown sugar, or syrups, which turn this superfood into a dessert. Instead, season with olive oil, cinnamon, or fresh herbs. Cooking them, cooling them in the refrigerator, and then reheating them is a simple trick to maximize resistant starch content for gut health. Think of sweet potatoes not just as food, but as nature's medicine. They brighten the plate with color. They protect the eyes. They strengthen the heart. And they stabilize energy so that every step, every thought, and every breath becomes easier. After 60, few foods offer such wide-ranging protection. By making sweet potatoes a regular part of your diet, you are giving your body a gift that supports both longevity and vitality. Best carb, number 1, lentils. The final carbohydrate on our list may not look glamorous, but it has fed civilizations for thousands of years. I am speaking about lentils, tiny legumes that come in shades of green, red, brown, and black. Do not be fooled by their humble appearance. For seniors, lentils are among the most powerful foods you can eat to steady blood sugar, protect the heart, and rebuild the strength of both body and mind. What sets lentils apart is their unique balance of nutrients. They are rich in slow-digesting complex carbohydrates, but unlike most carbs, they are also packed with plant protein and prebiotic fiber. This combination means that when you eat lentils, glucose enters the bloodstream gradually, avoiding the sharp spikes and crashes caused by refined grains. For seniors over 60, this steady release is a gift. It prevents stress on the pancreas, reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes, and provides long-lasting energy to fuel both daily activity and mental clarity. Scientific evidence supports these benefits. A 2021 study published in the British Journal of Nutrition followed older adults who consumed lentils at least 3 times per week. The researchers found that participants had lower fasting glucose levels, improved insulin sensitivity, and healthier cholesterol profiles compared to those who rarely ate legumes. These are not just numbers on a chart. They represent stronger circulation, sharper memory, and a reduced risk of heart attack and stroke. Lentils are also one of the richest plant sources of iron and folate, nutrients that are especially important for seniors. Iron supports the production of hemoglobin, the protein that carries oxygen through the blood. Adequate iron means more energy, less fatigue, and better physical endurance. Folate, meanwhile, is critical for brain health. It helps regulate homocysteine, a compound that, when elevated, is linked to memory decline and dementia. By eating lentils regularly, seniors give their brains the nutrients they need to stay sharp and resilient. Beyond their vitamins and minerals, lentils provide magnesium, potassium, and zinc, 3 minerals that relax blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and support immunity. Together, they create a protective shield against the very diseases that threaten older adults the most: cardiovascular disease, arthritis, and infections. Another extraordinary benefit of lentils lies in their fiber. Prebiotic fiber not only prevents constipation but also feeds beneficial gut bacteria. A healthy gut microbiome produces compounds that calm systemic inflammation and even support mood and cognition. For seniors who may struggle with digestive issues or feelings of low energy, lentils offer natural relief. How can you enjoy them? Lentils are incredibly versatile. You can simmer them into hearty soups, toss them into salads, or cook them into warming curries. Red lentils cook quickly and create a creamy texture, while green or brown lentils hold their shape in stews. Whenever possible, choose dried lentils and cook them at home, as canned versions may contain excess sodium. A simple portion, about half a cup to 1 cup cooked 3 to 4 times a week, can deliver lasting benefits. Friends, lentils are not fancy, but they are profoundly healing. They stabilize blood sugar, nourish the heart, strengthen muscles, protect memory, and comfort the gut. After 60, when every bite matters, lentils offer the rare combination of affordability, accessibility, and age-defying nutrition. By making them a regular part of your meals, you give your body exactly what it needs to remain strong, steady, and independent. My friends, now you have seen the two sides of carbohydrates. On one side are the silent saboteurs: white sandwich bread, rice cakes, packaged breakfast cereals, and French fries. They may taste familiar and comforting, but for seniors, they steal energy, raise blood sugar, and accelerate aging. On the other side are the age-defying carbohydrates: green peas, steel-cut oats, sweet potatoes, and lentils. These humble foods nourish the muscles, protect the heart, strengthen the brain, and heal the gut. The choice is in your hands. Every slice of bread, every snack, every meal can either weaken or rebuild your health. By making small, consistent swaps, trading white bread for sprouted whole grain bread, sugary cereal for oats, or French fries for roasted sweet potatoes, you create powerful changes that add up over time. And as the science shows, these choices do not just change your blood sugar numbers. They transform your energy, your independence, and your quality of life. So, I encourage you to begin today. Choose one swap, make it part of your routine, and notice how your body responds. Health after 60 is not about restriction. It is about wisdom. When you choose carbohydrates wisely, you give yourself the gift of strength, clarity, and vitality for the years ahead. If you found today's information helpful, please give this video a like, share it with your friends and loved ones, and subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss another health lesson designed for you. Together, we can build a community of strength, knowledge, and healthy aging.